Hi, I'm here today and my name is Doug Head. I live at 1415 West Robinson Street in Orlando. I was a friend of a incredible human being, Elias Rico Piccard, whose photograph is before you. And Mr. Piccard was a leader in the Hispanic community, one of the early leaders in the Hispanic community, who helped to make the city today what it is. And he was a vigorous proponent of civic activism. To some extent, he's my idol in terms of what I am doing here, speaking before you today. Mr. Piccard was recognized in legislation, committee substitute for Senate Bill 820. Former Senator Dyer, I'm surely you know what those words mean, but Senate Bill 820 honored a prominent African American from southern Florida, and after a round of negotiations, which is typical of legislation in Tallahassee, and at the behest of Senator Soto, Elias Rico Piccard was honored in that legislation. Since the implementation of that legislation, another piece of the legislation, the Bessie Coleman street naming and signage, has been implemented by the city of Orlando. I am unaware of additional requests that need to come from the state, but I've been told today that you need to receive an additional request from the state of Florida in order to implement the language in this bill, which named a portion of State Road 436 in honor of Elias Rico Piccard as the Elias Rico Piccard Memorial Highway. In correspondence with one of your aides, Your Honor, I received the following information that quote, "It appears that this designation was initiated due to a relationship between Senator Soto and Mr. Piccard." I don't know what that means, but I've been unable to get clarity on why we have not moved forward on this. In your inboxes today, Mayor and members of the council, you will have, in the last half hour since we've gotten information that this is necessary, a specific request from Senator Soto to identify what else you need in order to implement this signage program on State Road 436. Elias Rico Piccard deserves the respect. You just got done honoring veterans of the Vietnam War. He was one. He was a substantial community leader. The naming of the road, the signage is appropriate at this time, and what is holding it up other than pure politics, I do not know, nor does Senator Soto, and we would be happy to learn what else needs to be done, but insofar as I know, all the requirements that you need have been addressed, and so let's move on this matter.
As of today, I guess. Hey, is Jody down there? Yes, sir. Can you address whatever the requirements are for if a state statute has been passed that would implement the naming or the designation of a road that is in the city of Orlando? What is the process?
And if it's different for the one you've already done for Bessie Coleman, let me know.
I don't know the answer to that, Doug. That's what I'm going to ask Jody.
Well, if the state legislature designates, and it's not naming, it's designation, a portion of a roadway that's located within another jurisdiction, a local jurisdiction, the city or the county, then, I mean, the statute itself says that the markers will not be erected unless the appropriate city or county commission passes a resolution in support of that honorary designation. The rules of the Florida Department of Transportation provide that the process works like this. First, there's a designation by the legislature. Then the sponsor of that legislation contacts the local governance to obtain a resolution in favor of that designation. If and once that designation is made by local resolution and forwarded to the Department of Transportation, then they will begin the process of having the signs installed. So it's sort of a 3 or 4 part process, beginning and only beginning with the legislative designation, but contingent in all phases on a resolution by the local jurisdiction, in this case, the city council.
Okay, are all the other cards advocating for what Mr. Head has just requested? I mean, I'm certainly willing to take additional testimony from the other 14 folks, but I think we now know what the situation is, and can either, whatever you would like to do, either have everybody come up, and then I'm going to let Commissioner Ortiz who address this.
Just as a preliminary question, based upon what your attorney has just advised you, it is my understanding that the request to the city is now.
We now have a formal
You have
request
it.
for doing that. Okay.
If you did not have it previously.
I'm not aware that we did previously, but I will
Okay.
take your word that,
you know,
that has been made this afternoon.
great.
Okay. I'm going to